Hi everyone and welcome to Tamit Saleh's Tennis Forum. Now I wasn't going to release a video today, but looking at the results with both Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer crashing out of Shanghai, I thought it was only fitting that I give you guys a review of those matches as well as a preview to the semi-finals. If you're new here, please do subscribe as I do release weekly tennis content plus additional content during the Masters and Grand Slams, etc. If you want to check out my last video where I was talking about is the first round bye system unfair, then I'll be putting a link up here somewhere and also in the description below. And just a quick reminder for everyone, please do follow my Instagram page. Is at Tamit Saleh YouTube. I want to have some live discussions on there. But the topic for today's video will be looking at how Djokovic and Federer have both crashed out, the significance of it, and are the next gen players finally stepping up. I know it's not a Grand Slam, it's, the Masters 1000, but this is still a massive tournament with huge ramifications. So this is a big moment for the next gen players. Are they taking over? Will 2020 be the year they finally start winning the slams as well? Some of the things I want to discuss on this video. So without further ado, let's roll the intro.
Here he is again. That's astonishing. It's absolutely wow.
So waking up this morning, I was literally stunned when I saw on my notifications that Djokovic had lost to Tsitsipas. The match took place in the early hours, living in London. This match took place around 5 a.m, so I was not awake to watch the match. And having watched Tsitsipas versus Hurkacz yesterday, where Tsitsipas was very close to losing that match, it was taken to a third set tiebreak. So I thought Novak would quite comfortably win this encounter between them. He had beaten Tsitsipas earlier on in the clay in the final as well. So I was very shocked at the fact that Djokovic lost, especially with so much riding on Shanghai as well. I went on the Amazon Prime app and I started watching replays of the match. One great thing I must say is that between points, they do normally take about 20 seconds. So as soon as a point ends, I was just like going forward 20 seconds and then it was just like continuous tennis. So I did go through the match really quickly. Watching the opening 3 games, I must say, Djokovic looked impeccable. He was brilliant. Like some of the winners he was hitting, it was very clean hitting from Novak as well. Listening to the commentator, of course hindsight is a wonderful thing, but they were saying things like he looks in ominous mood. It will take some beating for Novak to not win Shanghai. He will go very deep, and yeah, little did they know that within an hour or two he'd be out of Shanghai. The opening 3 games he broke Tsitsipas in Tsitsipas's opening game. And then he went on serve for the rest of that set, with Novak winning that set 6-3. The quite amazing thing was that after that opening game, Djokovic did not even muster up another break point on Tsitsipas's serve, which was just, Djokovic is known to be one of the greatest returners in the history of our sport. So him not even getting another break point, quite spectacular effort from Tsitsipas. Another thing is Novak Djokovic had won 24 straight sets in Asia. That includes winning Shanghai last year without dropping a single set, winning Tokyo last week without dropping a single set, and winning the opening 2 rounds of this year's Shanghai Masters without dropping a set. So yeah, that was some going by Stefanos Tsitsipas. This was the 9th year that Novak Djokovic took part in Shanghai. The previous 8 times he had at least reached the semi-finals. So this is the first time in all his appearances in Shanghai he has not reached the semi-final. He is the record holder for the most amount of titles. He's won 4 titles there. So this was, like I've said, quite a big shock to the system. In the second set, it was going to serve with Tsitsipas 6-5 up, and then Djokovic had game points to take it into a tiebreak. But if you haven't watched that game, it was just there were so many unforced errors from Novak. There was a double fault in there. It was just like Novak started losing belief in his own abilities. And then of course Tsitsipas won the third, meaning he is now the newest addition to the players that have already qualified for London. Stefanos Tsitsipas will play in London. He's booked his spot. He is the 6th player after Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, Daniil Medvedev, Dominic Thiem, and now we have Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas, this will be his debut appearance in London in the World Tour Finals. He is the defending champion of the NextGen ATP Finals, which is sort of like the World Tour Finals for the younger guys. He beat Alex de Minaur last year in that final, so it's a massive step up for Tsitsipas. And personally, I'm very excited to see how he gets along in the tournament. I always enjoy watching new faces, so with Medvedev and Tsitsipas now as well, some new faces. I've got tickets to the final for London, so I don't know who I'll be seeing right now. I did expect to see Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Medvedev, but like the form Tsitsipas and even Alexander Zverev they're showing, this tournament is fully open, wide open for any one of these guys to win. One thing to note from this match, and a lot of you guys have already been saying it, is how Novak Djokovic seems to struggle a bit more with the next gen players, rather like in comparison to Rafa Nadal or Roger Federer. Looking at their head-to-heads, Djokovic, he does hold a 3-2 positive head-to-head against Medvedev. However, Medvedev has won the last 2 times they faced. Tsitsipas actually holds a 2-1 positive head-to-head against Novak. Against Dominic Thiem, now I know Thiem doesn't really, he may not fall in the next gen category, but he is one of the players pushing the big three for the Grand Slams. Djokovic does lead that head-to-head 6-3. However, out of the last 4 times they have faced, Thiem has won 3 of them, and then with Sasha, Djokovic has a 3-2 head-to-head. So likewise, it's all very tight with Novak. Whereas with Rafa, I feel like he dominates the next-gen players. I can't put my finger on why this seems to be the case. Maybe it's just Rafa's style of play. It's very unique, Rafa's style of play. So the next-gen players can't handle it as much. Maybe they've sort of figured out Novak's style of play. So, I mean, Novak Djokovic does have a positive head-to-head against Rafa and Roger. However, it does seem to me that they're not his only threats anymore. These next-gen players, and it's becoming more and more consistent now, they are just as much of a threat to Novak, I feel, as Rafa and Roger are. They're consistently getting wins over him. And then you've got players like Stan Wawrinka as well, who seems to be a bit of a bogey player for Novak. So it is looking a bit ominous for Novak now. Can he sort of shake away these memories? Can he gain some confidence and get these wins? Because right now it does seem to me that there are a lot of players threatening Novak Djokovic. Moving on to the Roger Federer Sasha Zverev match, I must say that was an enthralling watch. Sasha winning the first set 6-3. In the second set, Sasha was 6-5 up on serve and 40-love up. 3 match points on serve. Guys, please, if you have not already, go check the highlights. It's all over YouTube. Those 3 set points, match points rather, that Roger Federer saved, they were some sublime hitting. I've not seen so much cool from Roger. Like, it was like the volleys he was hitting was breathtaking. And yeah, go watch that, because he saved those 3 match points. In the tie-break, Sasha had 2 more match points as well, which Roger saved both of those. And he went on to win that second set to take it into a decider. And at that point, personally, I thought Roger would win. The momentum had shifted to him. Sasha, how would he react to losing all these match points? But fair play to him, he came back strong and he won the third set. One thing to note from that was that Roger Federer actually had a point penalty. He was warned once for smashing the ball into the crowd, and he did it a second time. However, that time there was not as much venom in it, so I think the umpire may have been a bit harsh. However, he did hit the ball towards the crowd, so he did get a point penalty for it. Looking at his post-match press conference, he was a bit tetchy when he was asked about that, and he just said, like, next question, moving on. So, Roger lost his cool a little bit there, and Sasha Zverev continues his great form since the Laver Cup. Really, I must say, since the Laver Cup, the Team Europe players, especially Team, or not so much today, but Sasha and Tsitsipas, they seem to be rejuvenated. So it does seem like whatever Coach Roger and Rafa must have spoken to them, it is working. They've performed admirably since then. And yes, Zverev takes one step closer to guaranteeing his spot in the World Tour Finals. He is the defending champion, and for the last 2 years, the defending champion has not participated in it. So let's not make that three times in a row. So yes, Zverev, he is now up to 7th in the race. So he is looking quite good, I must say, considering the form he's in, to get his spot in London as well. So looking into the semi-finals for Shanghai, we have a full-on next-gen lineup. We have the new Medvedev, who will be the eldest player. Can you believe that? 23 years old. He's the eldest semi-finalist. He will take on Tsitsipas, a player who has never beaten him. Medvedev holds a 4-0 positive head-to-head against Stefanos, and he is going for his 6th consecutive final in a row. That is some going. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he made the Washington final, Montreal final, Cincinnati final, US Open final, St. Petersburg final, and now he's going for a Shanghai final. He has the most wins out of any player this year with 57 wins. And wow, Medvedev he's consistently doing it, guys. He could be the next big thing. And I must say, out of all the next gen players or anyone rising, I feel like Medvedev is the future, will be a future champion and future world number one. So yeah, him versus Tsitsipas, that could be a rivalry that we see for years to come. And then in the second semi-final, we have Sasha Zverev versus Matteo Berrettini. I must say I was a bit shocked how Berrettini beat Dominic Thiem in straight sets. Thiem was in great form as well. And it's funny because last week in Beijing, Andy Murray, coming back from injury, beat Berrettini in straight sets. So he's gone from losing to Andy Murray last week to reaching a Grand Slam Masters 1000 semi-final. It backs up his US Open semi-final as well. And I was hearing a lot of people saying that Berrettini was just like a fluke, reaching the US Open final. But yeah, he's backing himself up. He's reached his, I believe, first Masters 1000 final as well. So that takes place tomorrow morning. If I had to predict, I would say a Medvedev-Zverev final. But after today's results, with Thiem, Djokovic and Federer all, let's say, shockingly going out, you'd have them as favourites to have won their matches. I'm not going to hold anything to it. So yeah, that would be very interesting. Medvedev and Zverev are both Masters 1000 champions. Tsitsipas and Berrettini, they've never won a Masters 1000 before. And this will be the first time in Shanghai for since 2009 that the Big Four. Now, I know there's, you guys like to say big three, but I'm going to include Andy Murray in the debate. So, Novak Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Murray. First time, none of them are in the semi-finals in Shanghai. So, that's another little fun fact. And to round up the video, Rafa Nadal looks like he is guaranteed to be world number one on November the 4th after Novak Djokovic crashed out. Unless he plays Vienna or Basel. Now, he needs to add that to his schedule, which it looks like he's not, because Nadal and Djokovic are already penciled in to play an exhibition in Kazakhstan, which would mean that Novak can't play in Basel or Vienna. So I don't think Novak will cancel that exhibition match. But yeah, this would mean that Nadal is now guaranteed to become world number one. He's not guaranteed to end the year as world number one. But yeah, so even if Rafa pulls out of Paris and Novak wins Paris, on the 4th of November, Rafa Nadal will be world number one. I'm not going to go too much into it. I am going to release a video on Tuesday for my weekly Tennis Tuesday videos, looking at the ATP rankings, the race, and going more in depth to it. So please do keep an eye out for that video on Tuesday. But yeah, this means Novak Djokovic has 3 more weeks at world number one, at least confirmed, which would take him up to 275 weeks, which is 35 behind Federer and 11 behind Pete Sampras. And with that, it will take his current stint to 52 weeks, making him the first ever player with 3 different stints at world number one, which lasted for at least a year or more. So 52 weeks or more. He'll be the first ever player with 3 different occasions he's done that. So that's a little saving grace or silver lining there for Novak. I'm sure he wouldn't want to lose it. But yeah, it's still not over until London. We'll see how that goes. I personally do want a final in London between Djokovic and Nadal. I've got tickets for it, so I want that match to decide who ends the year world number one. I'll find that interesting. Anyways, I'll wrap it up there. This was not meant to be this long. So yeah, let me know what you think. Who do you think will will win Shanghai? Do you think the next gen players are now finally stepping up and will challenge the big three from now on? And who's going to end the year as world number one? Please do leave a comment. I do love hearing everything you guys have to say. I do try to respond to most, if not all, of your comments. So I appreciate all the support. Thanks. Thank you very much for that. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe for future tennis content. And yeah, follow my Instagram account at Tamid Saleh YouTube. Sorry, I'm all getting muddled up here, but I'll wrap you up there. Thank you very much for watching.